A villain soaring on the wings of wickedness. That was the original depiction of Stratos in 1981. Of course, it didn't take him long to be a good guy, much like Man-at-Arms. And then, not too long after, he has the gray... Sometimes the action figures show red wings with blue harness, sometimes red harness with blue wings, which is right, I don't know. But here we see that he has a human wife, Delora, which didn't last very long. And there is the egg of Avion, which is in a different form. Here, it's the staff. And in this story, of course, Skeletor takes it. Here they are flying through the air, and you have these monsters. They kidnap Delora. This is one of the really first stories that fleshes out Avion, which is on the ground, of course, in this first version, first of the Incarnate, the Golden Age Stratos. And this is where, you have a staff that does these great powers of what the Avion egg is about. This green egg on a staff that just has great power. Here you can see some of the fellow Avionians. This is probably the final version of Stratos as far as the original and the classics. In my memory, I don't remember much about this version of Stratos, except that he existed. And I think Hawk was an enemy, or later on, maybe that's the later versions, but I think Hawk was, or some female Stratos was in this original cartoon filmation, not his sister, which was later. In the German audiobooks, he and Delora had 2 children. And in the German Condor comics, it was a cloud that kept them afloat in the sky. And when Skeletor didn't like what they were doing, he just destroyed the cloud, and then all the people fell to their deaths. Now, in the cartoon, he would sound a little bit like Sean Connery, because he was in charge, and he had the egg of Avion as He-Man. He would sound like Sean Connery, basically. Yes, Moneypenny. I remember Miss Moneypenny. So, here's a story that you see a little bit. Now, this is Avion before, right? This is Avion now in this universe in 2000X. And what a beautiful place. It almost looks like Eternia from the new cartoon. And there you can see his sister Hawk. And oh no, is that? No, that's not Hawk. That's other people. This is the way they look here 20 years ago. And very detailed. Look around us, there's not a sudden face in the crowd, right? And then it turns into this alternate universe where instead of it's all put together, it's all fallen apart. And let me flip forward. Now here they're trying to figure out what's going on. Skeletor in this storyline, of course, is using these portals to get into Castle Grayskull without having to bash the door down. And here you see something happening. Hawk and the others go to find out what's happening to Avion. They send a patrol out, and you see these bat creatures. They're from another universe. There's Bat Hawk. It's almost the same, but they're different. So there's a little different take on the Avion warriors from another universe. And in the 2013 comics from DC, Stratos here, I like his full mask here. He's got a full facial mask. This was the storyline when Mossman, Tila, and Stratos were in another dimension. There were like 7 layers of Eternia: the sand world, the sky world, hell, and the planet. And they had to go and get themselves back and rescue King Randor, He-Man, and Battle Cat from Purgatory. Of course, that was where Hiss possessed King Randor. It's a whole other thing. But that's his look. Very cool. Now let's go all the way forward. Between the Masters' complete lack of diplomacy and King Stratos' complete lack of manners, tact or general self-awareness, the Eternos Avion alliance has always had a shaky start. But Stratos matured during the show, putting aside his own glory and instead working with his heroic warriors for the greater good of Avion Eternos. Now, of course, in the cartoon, there was and even in the DC comics, there was a problem between Stratos' people and the Adrenids, the Buzz-Off and the Queen. Here, it's just between Stratos and Eternia. And here it's going to be, more African-American looking, as opposed to the Sean Connery look. The King of Avion has A's, so he's got A's hidden all over. I think they're trying to do a gimmick here. Forehead, chest. it was important to keep his silhouette clean and aerodynamic since he flies, so make him the most sleek, slick, and streamlined character on the show. We made him bald like me, the most streamlined member of the production team. And there are these different versions of what they were going to... I don't think this would have worked. I don't think... Maybe it would have been like the first Stratos ever that lived and died, and then he took over, like after the great founder of Avion. But there was an origin story, actually. I think I have it here. Let me see. Giving Shadow Skyblades, artificial bladed energy wings. So there's different yellow energy. It's just, it's just like whatever I have here, transferred onto here. But I'll show you the last part of this, which is the origin story. Here is, now this shows you basically how Hawk and his sister, Hawk and Stratos, came to be. It was like, they were peaceful people, but they had to go back and look at, they had like these huge eyes and weird owl hair and shit. And they were once people in this town, and then these bug people tried to take everything, killed their parents. They didn't have their parents anymore, so they had to think responsibly, having lost their family, having lost everything. That was the hardest part. But eventually they found the egg of Avion, which was a thing that they had, this mysterious thing that they had to go on a quest to find. And once they found it, they could move their people from the ground to the sky. And you have braved many hardships to find salvation for your people. I am the last remnant of a time long ago. I am the guardian of the truth you seek. And you have come to search for a way for your people to survive. Even the greatest warriors have fallen into my power. So I can look inside your heart, Birdman. Compassion, wisdom, selflessness, and immeasurable bravery. It has been eons since I have stood against someone of your stature. Of course, we've seen the story 100,000 times. By your deeds alone, you have proven yourself to be a true leader and an honorable descendant of our noble race. I have waited countless years for your arrival. Birdman, what you seek shall be yours. And once they had this egg, the egg of Avion, that was the origin story of how they got a hold of it. So I imagine maybe it's something similar to the new cartoons, hopefully. But such a nice little story that he and his sister were reminiscing about. The great ambassador to Eternals wouldn't be late. It's like, let's not keep them waiting. So yeah, if you like this, you know what to do. Click those buttons below and tell all your friends. I'll be doing some more characters. Maybe I'll cut it off here after Battle Cat, and I'll do a series 2 of Blood of Eternia and the Evolution of Stratos. Let's go home.